Welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. We are currently in the Valley of the Mists, in the city of Karak. The party has encountered some warriors who were on a mission to bring some prisoners somewhere. And they met up with the party, and they brought the party back to the city of Karak. It is a well-fortified city with hundreds of warriors. 90% or more seem to be female. They are dressed in kind of archaic armor, though it doesn't look old and beat up. It just seems to be the style that they wear. Light chain shirts, short swords, etc. They brought the party to meet the high priest, Yodin, who offered them sanctuary, we'll call it. We'll see how the party interprets this. And where they were able, in a room to clean up. They had been traveling the last time they were in a town was months and months ago. So they are in effectively a dormitory with a large space with hot water to clean, fresh food to eat, some clothes. The people here are all dressed kind of in just simple. The women are dressed in kind of simple dresses. The men in kilts with girdles holding, weapons or whatever. That you were asked to disarm as you're walking around, the city. And there was some exploration out the door to see what was watching you, and there's a couple of guards on the door. Otherwise, all seems chill in Karak. So, you guys can introduce your characters, and we'll see where you want to take this. Let's start with Nikki.
All right. I play Pinesta. She is a bard. Right now she is a little bit on edge because Ali is acting strangely, even for Ali, and kind of encouraging Kraken worship and that kind of thing. So she has her eye on him, she's thinking that he might have been either brainwashed or under some sort of charm spell. She's upset that they couldn't save the children, but she knows that what they're trying to save is, in effect, the entire realm of Hyperborea from Kraken's arrival. So sacrifices were made. She's at least she's assuming. So right now she's kind of keeping her eye on Ali and going to get ready to go out and kind of explore this little town and figure out what she can do to prevent Kraken from coming.
Excellent. Crystal, tell us about your character.
I play Rowan Seach. She's a pyromancer. She's feeling rather tired, kind of wants to just rest, but she's, not going to leave her party behind, of course. So she's sticking around to see what their plan is after getting a little back talk from Helene with some healing help.
Speaking of Helene, Mike, tell us about your character.
I play Helene Silphadoris. She is an Amazonian warrior priestess of Auroras. She is hanging out. She's a little twitchy in this society. She thinks, this is a little strange that they view everyone as outsiders, that they would be so cut off that they would view everyone, that they wouldn't even possibly entertain the thought of somebody coming from the outside. So that's keeping her on alert a bit. And besides that, this whole sort of male-dominated thing is just rubbing against her a bit from what she has seen. But she is giving them the benefit of the doubt, but is, ready to purge the evil if she's called to. And that's Helene.
Excellent. Also traveling with the party is Ali, a wizard Ixian background. Ali being the only one who seems to be able to speak the language here, which is kind of an archaic version of Hyperborean. The people in this place all seem to be this odd mix that you've not really seen before. They are certainly of maybe possibly Viking background with the red hair, but at the same time they've got signs of Hyperboreans, and you had heard from any legends or whatever that it was Hyperboreans who dwelt down here. These Viking mix seem to be, they're a little taller than you would normally expect a Viking, and a little paler and a little skinnier. It's a little bit odd. They seem to only really want to communicate with Penesta, who also has red hair, so she's the most familiar to them. The dark-haired Helene, Rowan Siege, and Ali are on some level being almost snubbed or looked at it as almost like a curiosity. It is, by the way, the 15th day of the 11th month of the first year, the winter at that. But the temperature in the Valley of Mist is quite warm and comfortable. So warm, in fact, that any heavy armor worn for a long period of time would likely be a detriment to you. But the lightweight kind of wool, cotton garments that they give you are quite comfortable. And sandals, of course, that tie up all the ways to your calves, as is the style here. So yeah, it's what would you guys like to do? You're in this room. You are a bit effectively alone. I mean, people have come in and out. They brought you food. They brought you stuff to clean. I think some of you were cleaning up and changing. There was a room that they asked you to put your stuff in, weapons and such. And again, there were a couple of guards that were out front. Yeah. What is the plan?
I think Penesta and I were planning on heading out, weren't we? Weren't we going to make a night of it?
Yes, we were.
Okay.
Rowan Siege was going to study.
Well, I mean, if you two are going out, I'm not going to let you go alone.
Oh no, that's okay. You just stay and study.
Ali says, that is actually a good idea. I'm trying to learn this new spell here that could be helpful to bringing forth Kraken. And then he kind of finds a table and opens up some of those books that he had gotten from the tower that you guys remember. He was trying to learn a spell from that.
Right. Well, shall we see what we can see, guys?
Yeah.
I don't like it any more than you do, Helene. But
We might as well have a good look around.
yes, I agree.
Okay. Yeah, so you open up the door. There's a couple guards out there. They kind of step to the side and they look at you. They speak in the language that you don't really understand, of course. Ali interprets to say, do you need anything? And before you can really answer that, you see walking down the street, flanked by 6 or 3 on each side, warriors, a very, very tall, still on the red side, but almost to the blonde woman. So she's quite striking. She is she's kind of leading this pack of women. She's got a whip at her side, as well as a short blade, like a short sword. She's got a coat of mail, just like the other women. So she's just more or less similar. And she sees you and she says, well, she says it in the archaic language that you don't understand. She starts speaking, and she stops, and then she tries a couple other languages. She actually speaks Hellenic. Does anybody speak Hellenic?
I speak Hellenic.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so she tries that. She says, I could hardly believe it when I heard that stranger had come Certainly, you must be spies from Cirque. Are you looking to see what our defenses are like? And then she smiles. And she waits to see if you understood her. Because she doesn't know if you understand her or not. If nobody replies, then she'll speak in another language. She starts to speak in another language. Unless somebody replies.
Yeah. Rowan Seach will say, yes, we would love a look around your town, actually. Around your city.
Yeah,
I just look at her and go, what?
She smiles even wider, and she says, I bet you would. Well, I shall give you a tour. I am Lur.
Rowan Seach will turn and let them know this is Lur. She's offering us a tour of the city.
Right. But you could inform her that we're not spies.
Oh, I didn't. I must have missed that part. Sorry, I kind of blanked out for a second.
I think it's a critical part.
I was thinking deeply about a spell in my head and kind of, yeah, but we're not spies.
Oh, a spell. Are you a witch?
I didn't say that in Hellenic. I'm talking to the others. In
What
common.
language are you speaking?
Common.
Oh, in common. Okay. All right.
Sorry, I didn't make that clear.
What's it?
How tall is she?
She is actually 6'2".
Oh, good. So I'm still taller than her.
Yeah, you're quite tall, but nobody else here is tall.
I'm as tall as her.
Yeah, you guys are both big. Yeah.
But does she speak common? Did she understand?
She does not comment on what she said, if she did.
Okay.
I didn't realize you were speaking common, so.
I will go over and greet her with a classic hand clasp.
Okay. She does. She takes your hand. She says, I've never seen one so tall with hair so dark. You can't be.
That you would know that I'm not from Cirque then.
She kind of crinkles her eyebrows as if she's confused by that statement. She says, well, you are certainly not one of the little people, but perhaps kin to the witch that dwells with them.
Rowan Seach is going to stand by Vanessa and translate the conversation that Helene and this woman are having.
I said, that's odd. So, because I'm not short, therefore I must be a witch?
Did I say that?
Well, that's what you implied. I could just be a stranger. That seems to be
There are
the
no
most
strangers here.
obvious. There are no strangers
here. The valley is quite small, and most of it we control. Only the areas held by Cirque are unusual to us, and we've seen most who dwell there. But none have, and she kind of touches your hair. Well, this I don't know. There is a witch that dwells with the little people, also with hair of ebon.
And I touch her hair.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and you are quite fair compared to the rest, which are quite red. Does that make you a witch too?
Some say I'm a witch.
I see. So I should be worried about you then.
Oh, do you fear witches?
Do I fear witches? No, not unless they give me cause to fear them. Should I fear you?
I mean you no harm.
Well, then I mean you no harm.
She smiles again. Are you carrying all... You're not carrying your weapons, right? You left all your weapons, I'm assuming, or are you carrying that giant warhammer?
No, I'm not. I'm not walking around with a warhammer.
Yeah. I assume that you had left the stuff because that was what you had said. I guess I said last time, but I didn't know if anything changed. Okay.
I
yeah,
do
so
have
you
these
did,
two gigantic guns with me, though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, nobody here has weapons out, of course. But they're the soldiers, so they are armed. You
Yeah.
see a lot of civilians that are not armed, so it's not like everybody in this place is armed, but these are clearly soldiers. And you can also tell, especially as you're watching the conversation, it doesn't seem like it seems like some of the soldiers that are with her kind of are picking up bits and pieces of the conversation, but most of them are not speaking the language. So it seems like most of them are not familiar with the Hellenic tongue. So yeah. So she says, well, Karak is the most powerful city in the valley. Built with the blessings of Kakarul. And the temple where we sacrifice to our god is here. Let me show you. And she kind of like goes like this, puts her out because it's behind you effectively, and she goes like this for you to kind of turn around, and then she waits for you to turn, and if you do, I assume, and then she kind of walks like in front of you so she can lead the way. If you don't turn, then she doesn't do that because she's not going to walk behind you because that would be rude.
I will intentionally walk by her side.
Okay. Yeah, she didn't seem to have an issue with that. The other soldiers kind of, their flanks, they kind of fall to the sides, kind of, not boxing the three of you in, but they're definitely kind of on either side as in marching along. Do Ron, Siege, and Podesta want to do anything besides follow? Well, I'm assuming you're following, I should say. I don't know.
I would go with them. Just kind of watching for now. I'm going to keep an eye out for children or anything. Like I said, I'm kind of looking for their signs of what kind of society they have here.
Okay, yeah. So you see quite a few as you're walking. I mean, you don't walk that far before you get to where you're going, but the city's quite large. It's at least as big as Khromarium. It's many, many miles, like at least 3 or 4 miles. And it's walled, so you can imagine this is a quite large space, though the walls aren't that high. It's set kind of in almost like a little depression, so that the walls being only 20 foot at the max high, they seem higher when you're inside, basically. There's basic ladders going to the top. They don't seem to be hollow, so like there's not like at least for as far as you can tell. And there are soldiers that walk along the tops of the walls, mostly armed with bows. As you walk through the city now, now you're getting past the temple and out into more, the small temple, where Yodin was, out towards the more residential area. You see again small houses, all made of stone. You do see again primarily women. Most of them are not armed at all. They're wearing simple dresses with girdles, kind of cinching them up with moccasins. You do see some children now. Again, mostly female children. As you kind of heading through, it seems like maybe people had been inside, when you arrived, and now you see people with their doors open, and you start to see that there are some families and such. But if you see out of every 100 women, if you see like 5 or 6 men, that's basically what you're seeing as you progress. You do walk through another large courtyard area in which there's a huge because what it is, well, effectively. It's about 10 foot in diameter. It's not very deep, as you can see, and it's filled with water that is boiling, and steam vents are coming up, kind of like what you saw in that first lake that you had crossed. Above this, you see wooden structures with various hooks hanging down, that clearly things can be hung upon over the water, pots and things like that. Seems like it's kind of a communal cooking area, if you will, that they use the heat from the waters here. And if you get kind of relatively closer, you could feel it's quite warm. Like if you get within like 5 feet of it, like you can feel your skin start to get wet with perspiration and such. But after a bit of walking, probably like about half a mile or so, maybe a little bit longer through the city, you see what is a natural structure. It seems to be a large rock when you're kind of first looking at it, and there is a cave entrance. And when I say cave entrance, I mean like literally it looks like a rough cave entrance in front of it. That's probably about twice as large as you would normally think for a door, both height and width-wise. And she stops, Lur stops there, and she says, in lies Kakru, or the gate to Kakru. This is the most important part of the city, for this is what keeps the valley at peace. For if Kakru was not appeased, the valley would be destroyed, just like the world outside. Though you must know that. And she kind of looks at you.
I'm translating for Panesta.
No, I don't know that. And how do you appease Kakru?
You'll see. And she turns and walks into the cave. And I guess if you're staying next to her, then you do as well? Or do you let her go? Okay. Yep.
I have no reason not to trust her so far.
Yeah, so you all, well, I'm assuming, again, the pedestrian, and if anybody's doing something different, just let me know. I don't want to assume your characters are doing something. You guys walk in, and when you do, Laura walks in next to Helene, Ron, Siege, and Panesta follow. The guards all stand outside. They don't go inside. It's a pretty steep entryway, so you're kind of coming in, and then it's kind of a ramp, if you will, going down, and you can see a flickering kind of yellowish light below. And as you kind of come down maybe 100 feet, so you're down below the surface, it's kind of cooler down here. There is a small-ish, like, pond, so, I mean, like probably like an eighth of a mile in diameter, so it's big because it's a pond, but it's small for a pond. Underground, like an underground pond that you can see. Out there seems to be like a pathway, probably, appears to be natural, that walks out to it. The pond doesn't seem to be one of these boiling hot ponds, though. It seems to be cool water. There's a pathway that walks out into the center, on which there is a huge, probably 12-foot high by maybe 6-foot diameter stone. It looks kind of like a quartz stone, except it's got this kind of a yellowish feel to it, like a yellowish look to it. And all around it on the ground are braziers that are lit, like they're burning, and the lights are reflecting off of it, and this yellowish cast is lighting up the space. You could see that when you walk into the space, that on either side, people could like come and spread out and circle around, and you see that, Lura tells you, she says, when the sacrifices are made to Kakru, all come to see, and know that those who sacrifice do not sacrifice in vain.
And I see. And so what are the things that you sacrifice?
It seems your accent is confusing to me. You said it seems that you may have used the word things. That's incredibly disrespectful. So I will assume that was a mistake.
Okay. What do you sacrifice?
Those who are sacrificed.
Those.
Yes, those. Those who are sacrificed know their place, and their families are treated and taken care of.
So to be sacrificed is a place of honor.
That is right.
I see. So these sacrifices are willing?
Of course.
Or are they chosen?
Let's say a little of both.
I see. And how is this done? Oracles? Divination?
She looks around a little bit, like you know. It seems like she's kind of looking around as if she feels like somebody's looking at her. Like she kind of like looks, and she says, "Well, this is not the talk of us. This is talk for the high priests. We are but subjects. Yodin will explain it all."
Well, I thought that you were some sort of a witch.
Well, they do say that. But being
Well,
a witch and being connected to
You're privy to
Kakru.
knowledge.
Yeah, she looks at Rowan Siege and Penesta, and then she looks back at you and she says, "Let me show you the rest of the town." And then she turns and she starts walking back.
And I just say, wait a minute. Are these men not loyal to you? Do they not know when to hold their tongue?
Some of us know when to hold our tongue. Some of us know when it's the time to speak.
I say, well, let us talk more later then.
Of course, we shall drink and get you settled in. You can tell me all about Cirque. And she smiles again and walks past.
Well, I'm afraid that will be difficult because I know nothing of Cirque. But I will tell you of the lands that I am.
When you say that, she kind of like, you see her like slow a little bit, and then she continues walking. As if she's going to say something, but she feels like...
I said, well, if you are a witch or a soothsayer or whatever, I am free to put a spell on me and see if I do not speak the truth.
Yoden will discuss that with you. Fear not, this is not my place.
No,
She's
but
kind of looking around.
I want you to be confident in me.
Oh, I'm confident.
Are you?
I am. And
I
then
don't
she continues
sense
to walk.
that. Your pace is a bit quicker.
There is much to see, and much wine to be drunk.
Yes, and much anxiety to express.
No need to be anxious.
I'm not anxious.
We are.
I'm not going anywhere. I am a guest here.
Indeed, you are. Come. And then she now by that at this point you're back at the top, and she kind of leads you around. They mostly show you. I'm assuming you go with her. She shows you where the people stay and the stuff. She talks about this farmland off, and she kind of explains where it is. And she talks about the general. She doesn't give away. She doesn't talk specifically about how the place is defended, except for to say, "We are happy to be in Karak, where it was impossible to break the walls. So, any spies from Cirque would be useless anyways. I don't know why they would bother to send them, so I have to believe that you're not."
So Cirque is a walled city too? Like yourselves?
Oh yes, Cirque has great walls.
I see. And where is Cirque in conjunction to you?
That's a good question.
And
She kind of looks at you.
this is a difficult thing for you to answer.
Well, as you know, the treaty forbids us to cross the river. And Cirque is said to lie on the other side.
Well, I'm not aware of any treaty.
Well, certainly if you were from Cirque, you would be breaking the treaty. And that would be bad for your little people.
Well, I've already told you. I'm not from Cirque. And I'm not aware of a treaty.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah. Try me. Go ahead.
I may just do that.
Draw my mind.
Oh, would you like me to cast a spell upon you?
Yes.
Truly. She looks at you, kind of sizing you up, and when she does, you hear like stomping of feet. And from around the corner comes the man you have seen before, the very tall man with his guard in tow. she sees him and she says, "Oh, Tiber, I did not think you would be here when those from Cirque are afoot." And he says, "Well, it's clear that you'll get nothing from them, witch woman, but they'll speak to me, won't you?" And he kind of looks at the three of you.
What language is he speaking?
He speaks in Hyperborean.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just smile.
Yeah. She actually laughs, and then she says, in Hyperborean, which you don't speak Hyperborean, she says, "They do not speak the language of the valley, or so they say, but they speak those of an ancient tongue." And she says she speaks a couple words. She says that word, that the word ancient tongue in Viking, or in Hellenic rather. And he looks and he says back in Hellenic. He says the same thing he said before. He says, "You'll speak with me now and let me know where the invading force from Cirque is. Things will go better for you. There's a place for you in our armies. We could always use fresh women."
Well, I've told your friend here that we're not from Cirque and we don't know anything about Cirque. Nor do I know about any treaty. I don't even know where Cirque is located.
Well, of course you told her that. I did not believe that she could get any information from you. Witch woman, be on your way. And she kind of side-eyes to you, Helene, and then she turns and walks away, and her troops follow.
So wait, it is nothing that she has not done. I said that she could test my mind if she wanted to. I mean, I will be honest with you. We're simply ignorant of anything of Cirque.
Where are you from, then? You are not from Karak. You are clearly not a little one.
Right?
Cirque is the only other place.
We are from beyond your sky.
He laughs. Ha 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 ha. That's my laugh. You think I'm a fool? No life exists beyond the valley.
Well, then how do you explain me or my friends?
Well, that is troubling.
You can test us. But
Test
I
you.
know nothing of Cirque.
Yes. We'll see. Come. And he starts walking kind of back the way you came originally.
Yes.
And you end up back at that area with all the cooking pots were and stuff, hanging over the hot thing, and you see a woman. She is being strung up by her feet. She is completely nude otherwise. There's over the thing, and red hair with him, and he says, "This is one of your friends, is it not?" And the woman yells in Hyperborean language you don't speak.
Friends? Because I'm assuming they're translating for me. I don't speak Hellenic.
Yeah, I'm translating for you.
I don't.
Okay, so you say, you translate back, Ron Siege, friend, the question friend.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm translating everything that's being said.
Okay, so we're assuming that if Vanessa says something, that you'll translate it to
Yes.
this man, unless otherwise said. Okay. All right, fine. So you say that, and he says, "Well, we know this one is from Cirque. She left here 3 years ago to join them. Came back thinking she wouldn't be noticed. If you are not from Cirque, perhaps you will not care if we lower her down a bit."
No.
And then he says that again, but he says it in Hyperborean. And when he does, the one of the men lower the rope and the woman drops down. So now like she's just barely above the hot thing, and you can see her flesh is getting all like red from being so close to the heat. She's sweating and she's screaming in Hyperborean.
No, I will not abide. I don't. I am not from Cirque, and I don't abide torture.
Well, simply let us know where Cirque is and what your plans are.
I told you I don't know where Cirque is, and I will make my way up the platform if I can.
Okay, now he's going to block you.
Okay.
Yeah, he stands in front of you. He says, spies are put to death. This is the law. We have no proof you're a spy yet, but this one most certainly is. However, I have it in my power to pardon criminals. So all we need is some information from you, and she may go free. And not, and he says in Hyperborean again, be lowered some more, and she drops down, and she actually starts to like curl herself up because she's dropped now where basically she's got to almost do like a sit-up upside down, otherwise she's going to be in the water. So her back is like just above it, and you can see it getting red and boiling. She's screaming.
Right. I said, raise her up and I will answer your questions.
He looks at you, he says, perfect. And he says, he says something Hyperborean, and the guy pulls the rope up. And he says, come. And he walks past towards the building.
I want a woman with me.
He just ignores you and keeps walking.
Okay, I'm not walking with him.
He turns around and he says something in Hyperborean, and they drop her into the water.
No.
And he says to you, that's on you.
In comment, I'm gonna say to Vanessa, you want me to fire whip him?
No, yes, but no, because we're going to get the whole town down on us.
Yeah, keep in mind you're unarmed, and there's six, seven of them.
I agree with Helene's, obviously with her instincts there, but I don't know what to do now.
He's just kind of staring you down.
I guess
You
now
guys
you
are
don't have to
talking amongst
answer
yourselves.
his. Yeah. Just gonna look at Helene and say, I guess now you don't have to answer his questions.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. He says to you, Helene, he says, I heard that you came wielding a large hammer, and I saw you with it. Is that your weapon? Helene?
I will not answer those who torture women. But if you wish to fight me, then I will talk to you.
Oh, a challenge. This you may have. But first, rest, drink. Enjoy our hospitality.
No, I will fight you now.
He laughs. Ha 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 ha. Truly you are brave. Truly. Kind of look at you. And if you remember, he has two Thor type hammers on his, well, one's really big, one's small, on his belt. He takes the smaller one and he tosses it to you. Basically like a hand-sized hammer. And then he pulls his off. He says, don't worry. I'll make it quick.
Say, what? You need weapons? Are you scared to face a woman hand to hand?
as is our custom, the hammer is the weapon of the duel.
Oh,
We are not animals. We do not fight with our hands and teeth.
yes, but
Leave that to the
you
little
will
ones.
lower women into boiling water.
I will
It
lower
sounds
traitors and spies into boiling water.
Pretty animalistic to me.
If you will not use it, give it back. Drink.
Take
Have a
it
good
from
evening.
me.
Okay. Roll initiative.
Or are you a coward?
He's roll initiative. He's got to throw a hammer. He's got to throw his hammer at you. He got a 3. I'm going to pull up his character sheet. Roll me a d6.
Oh,
Mike.
Helene. Come on, Helene.
Oh, you go first. Okay, yeah. You see he's about to throw the hammer at you.
Yep,
So you can make a move. What would you like to do?
I'm going to ready to catch it.
We're going to catch it like a baller. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's. What I'll do then is I'll make an attack, and if he succeeds, you'll have to get an extraordinary feat of Dex, I guess, probably, to catch it. But if he misses, you'll only have to make a test of Dex to catch it. That seems
Okay.
fair, right? Yeah. Okay. So he's. All right. I guess I'm just gonna roll. Does he have a bonus there? He's got a +2. Okay. You roll a d20. Of course, you're not wearing any armor right now, so you're gonna be pretty easy. to hit, but you don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's not very good though. 11. He is. Oh yeah, that hits armor class 2. So that's a pretty steady hit. So you can make a feat of dexterity.
Feet of Dex.
Yeah, if you catch this. Oh no. All right, yeah. So you reach for it. It hits you in the hand or whatever, or in the arm as you reach for it.
Right.
It does a d6 plus 2 damage. D6, and I'll just add 2 to it. It does 4 points of damage. And you see him, remember I described he has like a thong wrapped around his wrist, a leather thong. He like yanks it back, and so the hammer hits you, and he pulls it back as you try to grab it, and he catches it. Yeah, he catches it, and then he looks, and he says, "Clearly you have lost this contest. Rest." And he kind of puts his hand out for you to hand him the other hammer.
I laugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's
laughs,
all
too.
I do. I laugh.
He also laughs. And then he says something in Hyperborean, and you see a couple of the soldiers like run into one of the buildings. Yeah. And then a few seconds later, or like 30 seconds later, they come out with some goblets and pitchers of wine, and they hand one to him and pour him wine, and then they hand you a goblet. Or they try to do is if you want it. Yep. And they pour wine.
Okay. And I'll pick up the warhammer he tossed to me.
Yep.
And I got a goblet in the other hand.
Yeah, yeah. He drinks heartily of his, and he says, "Well fought. Most people run when the hammer flies at them. I'll give you that, woman of Cirque."
Well, I'm not a woman of Cirque. And I down the goblet. And that's when I rush him.
Oh, you gotta charge him. Okay. All right. He's pretty well armored. I mean, he's got a chest plate on and stuff. Like he's actually full on.
That's okay.
So he's not gonna be easy to hit. But you can, yeah, go ahead.
He's a dick.
Mike, you better not get Helene killed.
I'm not.
All right,
Say
go
I'm
for it. You can
not.
make an attack. He wasn't expecting that. You can attack it. You can charge him.
I can attack him.
Yeah, I'll let you go first. He
who's
definitely
gonna
wasn't expecting that. But his armor class is really high, so you're probably not going to hit him unless you roll really
Okay.
well. Because you don't. Well, actually, that's not true. You're eye level fighter.
Let's see.
Because are you? Yeah. Oh, actually, you're professional. Are you using the hammer? Or are you just going to tackle him? What are you doing?
I'm going to use the hammer that he has.
Okay. Yeah, you can use the hammer. So that's fine. You're proficient in that. So you can regular attack roll. Plus,
Holy
plus.
shit.
Oh my god.
Clearly, I'm not used to this one.
Yeah, it's too little. All right, roll a d12 to see what happens. You want to roll low here. Okay, that's not bad. Badness. Okay, yes. You, embarrassing attack attempt, worthy of ridicule.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you like stumble forward with the hammer and you just like swing wildly as he just kind of steps out of the way. Like as he's drinking. He doesn't even stop drinking. He like literally steps back while he's downing it. And then you swing and he's like,
Of course, this would happen. Right when I'm trying to make.
He's actually just gonna, because now he doesn't. He's got the goblet in his hand. He's just gonna actually backhand you, like with his hand. He's just gonna try to hit you with his fist, kind of less for damage and more of just like attack, and then I'll figure it out. But he says,
since I'm considering this more a social fight than actually physical combat.
Yeah, 9.
This is humiliating.
Yeah, he's rolling terrible, but luckily AC 7. Do you have any dex bonus? If not, that'd hit you. You're not wearing any armor.
I have a dex bonus of 0.
Okay, so that hits you then. So he just smacks you across the face. I think it does 1 to 2 points of damage. So it's fine. He does 2 points of damage. As he whacks you across the face, you feel like a sting where like his ring hits you or whatever. Maybe it cuts a little bit into your lip. You know, it's like just a tiny little bit of a thing. And he does like take
makeup.
Yeah, exactly. You know, he just like he hits you, and then he literally just like you could see he's keeping an eye on you because he's not an idiot. But he says to one of the men in the Hyperborean, and you know, he calls for the guy. The guy comes running over to port to fill his goblet, and he just kind of looks. Is Podesta and Road Siege can't do anything while Helene's kind of not having a good day currently.
Oh, Rowan Siege wants to, but she's gonna hold back because Vanessa said so.
Well, hang on. Sorry, do not like motorcycles. Is everybody watching?
Playing on the back of a motorcycle?
No, I'm playing outside.
She's on the back of a motorcycle. That would be even better than Yang in the car.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What's the question?
Is everybody watching the fight with Helene and?
Yes, a bunch of people have now gathered around. I mean, they're kind of like you guys are kind of like encircled on some level by 4 of the soldiers because they were right next to you. They didn't move. They're kind of standing there. But yes, they're not only are they watching, but also people have come out of houses and stuff, and they're watching. And T-Bird's laughing. Ha 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 ha! Drink with me now before it's too late for you, woman of Cirque. He says it again now, even more sarcastically. But yes, people are watching the fight.
Okay. So I can't, but I have soldiers still. I can't just like back out of the circle of people fighting very carefully.
You can try. Yeah, you can sneak away. You've got like a sneak. Don't you have like a sneaking skill, like a move silent skill?
I do. Yep, I have a move silently. It is. I have it right here. 8 to 12.
Yeah, you can roll it. I mean, I'll because the effect's going to be immediate.
Okay. D12. I'm gonna roll it here. Oh, come on.
Yeah, you start to think back, and one of the soldiers takes like half a step back, like like you start to move back like this, and he just kind of walks back like with you, and he kind of just looks at you.
Okay, I'll smile at him and see if they speak common. I'm gonna say, this seems rather silly. Do you often get challenges like this?
He wrinkles his eyes like he doesn't know what you're saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then I'll just kind of smile at him and just stop moving.
Yeah. He says, he points, he says, Tiber, ha ha
ha. Yeah, I will also do that. I'll point and I'll be like, yeah, Tiber, ha 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 ha.
Nice. Okay. All right. So you hear a bit of a commotion, and coming around the corner is Lur, who's been now attracted to all the stuff going on. And she yells something in Hyperborean, you imagine, because that's, you've heard them speaking, that's what it is, to Tibor, who then says something back. They have kind of like a quick exchange. And then he kind of like he looks at Helene, and he kind of just like spits on the ground, and then he kind of like you can see he steps back a little bit, kind of like to disengage from any kind of a fight. Yeah, and then Lur says in Hellenic, she says, "Come with me. Yoden would not approve of this. You will speak with the High Priest tomorrow. For now, rest. Please rest. Do not fight with Tibur. He is too powerful for you." And she says it like that.
What?
And then
No. I look at Helene and I say, let's listen to Lure. She seems to have some wisdom. I think she's being sarcastic, Helene.
Tibur is a great warrior. You would
Yeah.
not want to challenge him. And you can see Tibur also realizes that she's being sarcastic, and he's not happy about it.
I reach out my cup, my goblet, towards the closest Eber and say, fill it.
Okay, yeah, they fill it up here.
Please
And
don't throw it in his face. Please don't throw it in his face.
no, I throw it back into my mouth and I say, I am no woman of Cirque. And
Well,
I
this-
go,
Yeah.
I will see you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, he just looks at you. He, ha ha ha! He turns to the men and he says something in Hyperborean, and they all start laughing and drinks start pouring. And
And then
And
I
Lure
turn
kind of,
around and I say, cowards use thongs.
luckily, he doesn't hear you.
Well, this went swimmingly. Let's go back.
Yeah,
And
so
I'll look to see if there's a reaction from him, and I'll say it a little louder.
No. Oh God.
okay, he still doesn't hear it, strangely. Yeah.
Let's go, Helene. Come on. Let's go back to the.
I extend my goblet one more time.
Oh my
Yeah, actually at this point the guys that were filling it went with him. So there's nobody standing next to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can walk up to where he is if you want, but he's now walked away with the guys with the goblets.
No,
But when you
I
extend it,
will
Lars says,
go finesse to Rowan Siege on this, I guess.
yeah, if you extend it out, Lur will say, "There's plenty of drink back at your dorms. Come."
I'll look at Helene. I'll say, look, you know me. I'm not the type to take guff from any man or woman if I don't respect her. But I think that we need to focus on Kraken and not, drunken.
Yes, but he tortured her and he just killed her without
he did.
reason.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree that that's awful, and we need to stop all of this that's happening here. And I'm speaking in common, by the way, so I know Lure might be able to understand me, but just gonna keep talking.
Yeah, she hasn't replied to anything you say.
Okay.
So if she can understand you, she's not reacting to it at all.
Yep, and I'm not speaking, super loudly. I'm trying to keep it,
Yeah.
mumbly.
Dumbo.
And I'm just gonna say, what's happening here is very bad. I don't hold with sacrifice. I don't know if you were. I don't think you weren't there at the time. I don't think, but I took down an entire Snake Man temple because they were sacrificing people. Also, Snake Men, but
I've
I just-
heard about you and Snake Men.
they're all evil. Just so you know.
That's not what I heard.
But I mean, I just think that we need to focus on. I think if we can take down the Temple of Kraken, we'll take down their whole operation, and hopefully we can save any other women from being tortured that way.
Right.
That's what I'll say. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You speak with reason. I just got a little angry. That's all. But he's still a coward to use a thong like that.
Yes, he's definitely a coward, and they're definitely terrible for their torturing. I agree.
I hope he dislocated his wrist when that hammer jerked on it like that.
All right. Whenever we get back, we can get,
Yeah, you get back to the room. She brings you there. And when you go inside, actually the two women, that were there before, are still there. Guarding. You come in, Ali's there. He has got some food and stuff spread upon on the table. He's got some, some drink. He's got his book there. And he looks up and he says, welcome back. I'm just studying various spells here that could help us with, worshiping Kraken and all the various other gods that should all be equally worshipped.
Okay. And I kind of side-eye him. You keep studying, Ali.
Yeah. So Laura kind of goes in with you. She leaves her people up front, and she kind of comes in, and she's got actually like I said before, she had a short sword. She has a long sword, actually. Oh no, that's Tiber. Hold on, I have the wrong character open. I think she does have a long sword, but she does. She takes it off, like her, she's got it like on her girl. She takes it off her thing, and she just like sets it to the side so she can be comfortable. So she's just basically wearing a dagger now. And she sits down on one of the couches there and pours some drink for herself. And she says, in really, really broken common, she says, you have plans for the Kraken?
Question is, what are the Kraken's plans for us? I'll say in common, and you guys want to translate that, you can, to Hellenic or whatever. But I'm assuming we'll figure out a way to communicate. We don't, So.
Yeah, well, she clearly, heard you, which means that she understood common. She understands common, at least on some level. It's a very, very accented. She says, not everyone believes that Kakru has destroyed the world. But it's better that the people believe that, or they will leave. This valley is kept the way it is, in perfect peace, through Kakru's reign. At least that's what Yoden says. He has a powerful ring that allows him to call forth Kakru for sacrifice. If you were able to get the ring to me, I could destroy the means of calling forth Kakru. But I would need to know that this world outside would be friendly to one such as me. A witch, as you say.
Well, I smile at Rowan Seach, and I say, I've known a lot of witches in my travels. And I look at Ali, actually, as well. Because,
Ali looks up.
Yeah. Hey there. And I say, I think you'd be welcome, and I actually know of a Kraken temple that I think might be able to help you get a new start in the outside world.
She nods.
If you want to continue to worship Kraken.
She says, we are being watched here. I will arrange for us to go to my tower where we can speak in detail. She's saying all this in broken common. And then she comes back and says in Hellenic, and she speaks louder, and she says, it's best that you do not leave the compound tonight. Drink and rest. Yoden will want to speak with you. And then she kind of gets up, picks up her sword, walks out.
Well, that's good to know about the ring. Getting it from him will probably be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that not everybody is on board with the sacrificing and torturing, though. That's always good to know.
That is good to know.
And certainly, I think the temple at Port Greely might help the refuge anybody who has to leave here because of what we do. I know, Helene, that you are not a worshiper of Kraken or even an advocate for that sort of worship, but it'd be a place for them to start.
Oh, that's fine. Get away from here.
Yeah. I don't like it when people's choices are restricted in this manner. So I'm glad we came.
Well, that makes sense why they're putting up such a defense about us being from Cirque.
Yes, I'm curious about this. I look around. Rowan Siege, do you have any way you can tell if someone is listening?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I'm curious if Cirque has the same beliefs as this place. And if they do, or I'm sorry, if they don't, I wonder if they'd be willing to help us in a way. You know, they cause a distraction so that we can go after the high priest, you know. Classic, right? Maybe they would help us if we could figure out a way to get in touch with them. We probably let our way to get in touch with them fall into boiling water, but still,
Yeah.
maybe there's other spies.
Or we just let Ali talk to him, and he's such a suck up, he can just slip the ring off his finger.
Oh, well, the ring sounds like it's very powerful magic. I would definitely like to study that.
You could get it off his finger, couldn't you?
Well, you know, I wouldn't want to destroy it, though. We could use it, right? Wouldn't you want to study the Kraken? Kraken's powerful. Could be good for us to learn about the nature of the universe.
I think there might be some things that even I don't want to know.
Well, we'll see. And he goes back to reading his book.
Well, what do you guys think? What do you think about trying to use Cirque, or do you think we should wait until we can talk to her in her tower tomorrow?
I say we talk to her in the tower. And Rowan Siege, you can always just burn up the high priest, and we take the ring out of the ashes.
True.
Cool. All right. If you're not going to do anything else tonight, we'll cut to the morning. That's okay. Everybody's going to just rest. And
Yeah, I think we should. Yeah, see what she has to say in the tower.
Okay. If you are injured, I don't know if I think some people might have been. Well, I know that obviously Helene got injured. You can roll your happy hit dice to heal, and of course you'll get back your spells and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. I am excited that we might get to burn down this town eventually, though, because, you know, I like to do that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. So it's the next morning. The two guards that were in front of your yeah, definitely not gonna. The two guards that were in front kind of open up the doors in the morning when they hear you up getting ready. It's already warm, as usual. This place is very warm. They open up the doors and they say, in Hyperborean, of course, Ollie's there to translate. They say, Laura is preparing horses for you. We should meet her at the front. And they kind of step to the side to let you guys go.
I asked Ali to ask if we're allowed to bring our weapons.
Okay, yeah. Ollie's like, well, I don't know why you need weapons. Kraken worshippers are quite gentle and kind. They just, they sacrifice people, but only when they're willing. But I'll ask. And then he asks, and they say, yes, you can. In fact, it's a good idea because you'll be traveling through the woods. So I'm assuming you arm yourselves?
Oh, yes. We can take all our weapons. And can we ask him how will we know that we're not followed, or like, is it going to be weird that we're going out to the tower?
But they say, we only do as Our Lady asks.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So you guys head towards the front, towards where you came in originally, and there are stables off to the side, as I mentioned. And you see Lura there. She waves her hand over, and she's got some very nice light horses for you. And she says, the journey will be swifter on mounts. We'll take. She points to the two girls that were guarding you. She says to them, actually in Hyperborean, so you don't know what they say because Ollie's not there anymore. Well, I guess Ollie's still here if he wants to translate, but I don't think he would openly translate it for no reason because you're spying on people. But she says something to them, and the two girls turn and they leave. She's got those other 6 warriors that she had before, all armed and ready. But they are on foot. She just has mounts for you guys. I mean, and her, obviously. So there's 5 horses in total. 4 horses in total, I should say. And, they head towards the front gate. And as you are heading towards the front gate, as you probably suspected, you see Tiber and his men there. And he says in Hyperborean something again, because you can understand him, clearly that Lord does not agree with, and she says something back to him, and there's like a little bit of a back and forth. But then in the end, he opens the door, opens the gates, and or has the men open the gates, and they lead you out. So you are going to. I'm just going to reveal this whole path here. So we start to get a sense of the landscape. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? I am not good at Roll20. As you can clearly see from that. Let's go this way. I guess it doesn't actually matter. I'm going to go like this. I'm not going to reveal perfect hexagons because I have this. They should actually have one of these tools. Should be a hexagon and not a square. Okay, so you're heading down, and you eventually come to this river that you follow for a bit. Each one of these squares is I think a mile. Not that much. You follow this river down, and you come to an area that is effectively, I'm just going to reveal this whole thing, that is effectively kind of a long, winding river, but there's a path of what looks like crushed like limestone or something, so it's like a white, crunchy, gravel as you're kind of walking, and eventually it comes to this lake. And this lake has this kind of like soft mist coming over it. And there's a kind of like what you saw the pathway that led out to the center of that little pond under where the giant stone was, you see a path that leads out into this lake. But this is clearly a bridge, probably that was made by man. It is, again, covered with this gravel, and it leads out into the center of the lake. As you're kind of out walking out into the lake, on the gravel, like you kind of can't even see the horse's hooves because the mist is kind of going across the gravel. But she's leading the way, and the horses seem, confident, that they're not falling in the lake or anything. And you follow that out to eventually where you reach a gap where there's a drawbridge must be lowered. And you see on the other side, there is a kind of a small, it's effectively like a small fort. It's a tower, more or less, like a keep, I guess is the best word for it. And they drop down the drawbridge, and a few women come out, women soldiers, to kind of lead you in. You bring the horses in. There's the stables, a small stable area for them. And then Laura brings you up and brings you into basically the main keep area, which is, again, effectively a tower. There's a large room with a fireplace burning, even though it's warm in here. And there's a table with food and stuff already set, and wine and such. And she comes in and she says, "Make yourselves comfortable. We shall spend the day, all the day, and into through the night here. Jodin will not expect us back until Phobos is full, which is 2 days from now. Tell me, have you seen Phobos?" And she says it in the broken common, all of us. And of course, Phobos is the moon. If you don't,
The moon? Yes,
it's the smaller of the two moons because you can't see it from in here, obviously.
Yes, we've seen the moon. Have you?
Only in legends is it spoken of. There are some drawings of before Kakru covered the valley in mist to protect us from the pestilence that they put forth on the land. We keep tight calendars of Phobos and Selene, but no one here has ever seen it.
You will see it when you leave the valley.
Yes. We have much to speak of. Jodin will lead the sacrifice in 2 days to demonstrate his power to you. He will want you there. Then you will see the ring that we must take from him. Tibur certainly wants the ring for himself as well, so we must be careful. For the ring holds the power to bring forth Kakru. And that is what keeps the people obedient, shall we say.
Well, where do you have these sacrifices in the cave?
The sacrifices are at the portal.
At the
Kakru's portal.
That's right. Okay.
Yes.
And
Go ahead.
is anybody, like, how close are the watchers to Jodin when he's doing his sacrificing, or do they throw them in a pit or something?
They are chained
Okay.
on the island by the stone. Jodin stands upon the bridge. Everyone from, well, all who are allowed from Karak fill the chamber. 1,000 men sometimes.
Ooh.
I do not believe that will be the time to take the ring. But after, he will certainly want to speak with you. You know how men are.
I do, actually. Yes, we all do. Right, Helene? Rowan Siege?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. He's going to want to brag and be like, "Hey, look at me! I just summoned Kraken. Cool." Okay.
If I believed, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of men, there's not many. It seems that women outnumber men quite a bit here in the village or the city. Are your men all sacrificed, or do they also sacrifice women?
No, no man is sacrificed.
Okay.
Gakru has no taste for them. The men are important, for they are the only ones who can bring forth Gakru. Thus, they are treated at a higher social order.
Well,
Hold on, wait a minute.
really?
Hmm?
Is that what they say? Or has
Yes.
no woman ever tried?
Oh no! This is in our scriptures, so it is clearly the truth. Because who would have written it down a long time ago if it wasn't true?
Prissa chokes on the wine she's drinking.
Was it written by men?
Well,
She looks. That is unclear.
I think. Okay, so the men. Is that why we don't see them out and about in the town? And your women are the warriors. At least it seems like your women are.
All men who show aptitude as warriors are trained by Tiber for his personal guard.
Okay.
He has some 100 men, roughly, under his command. When a truly exceptional male child is born, they are trained under Jodin to be the next high priest. But there has been no truly exceptional child since Jodin, some 20 years ago. So he still remains.
Is Jodin very powerful?
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, she looks at Helene and she says, "I truly thought that you may have been from Cirque, but it seems that I was mistaken. I do not believe any woman of Cirque would have stood up to Tiber. Well, unless they were born of Cirque. Cirque is where those who escape the sacrifice go."
Yeah, I'm not from Cirque. We don't even know where Cirque is.
If we knew those from Cirque could help us, maybe. They hate Jodin and Tiber, of course. For they were meant to be sacrificed and against their will. So they fled.
Okay.
It is said the little people protect them and their witch woman.
Have you ever seen one of these little people? Littler than me, right? I'm 5 foot tall.
Oh, yes. Now she looks a little confused. You've seen the little people. Were you not picked up by the patrol that was bringing those little people to be eaten by the moss?
Okay.
Their
all right.
golden skin, long, black hair like yours, but small like children. Except their witch. The witch seems like you, and she kind of points towards Celine. Tall, but not as big. Dark hair, powerful.
Do you know her name?
Evilly.
Yuli?
Evilly. They play it upon their drums. Evilly. The little people have powerful magic. But we cannot cross the river.
Or what happens?
The little people will wage war against us. But they certainly help the women who flee, because Cirque is on the other side of the river.
So people have crossed the river.
Those who run from Kakru and are taken in by the little people. We have no proof of this, of course, but where else could they have gone? This side of the valley is ours. We know every inch of it.
So you think that people of Cirque would help us?
Well, the people of Cirque hate Jotun. If we could find where Cirque was, Tibur would certainly take his men to attack, which would weaken Jotun's stance.
Hold on. So now you want us to spy on Cirque?
Oh, no, I asked nothing of that.
You just
I
did.
just tell you. Oh, I was just thinking out loud.
Thinking out loud.
Well, you seem a powerful warrior to stand up to Tibur, but Tibur plus 100 men mounted on war horses is a different story. I have some loyal women here, some 50 women, plus 10 more back.
So you wish to destroy a city in order to gain control of your own
No, I wish nothing of
by
this.
sending your enemy into attack this other city.
Cirque is said to be impenetrable.
Mm-hmm.
Tibur will certainly fail.
And there will be much death.
This is true. There is always much death. This lake is filled with the ghosts of those who have died in the mists. Their souls float above the water.
Perhaps there's another way that doesn't require so much death to get a ring.
I'm listening, she says, and she sits back on the couch with her wine. I will help you in any way I can, she says.
Can anybody get close to Jotun? Ever?
You stood only a few feet away from him. But to attack him is certain death. For all the women know they must protect him, or they could be sacrificed as well. The warriors, for the most part, are loyal to Kakru. Not to me, not to Tibur, but to the high priest. Unless they could be shown that someone else could lead them better, and that the ring would be destroyed. If I could destroy the ring, I could show them that a different future, one without sacrifice, without death, would be better for them. Right?
Yes.
They would be fine here on their own. You'll take me, though, right? You said you would.
I will take you. Yes. I do not break my promises.
Right. We can set them up. I will tell them to live here in peace and not sacrifice and not war upon people. Except Tibur, of course, who will be dead. I'm sure.
Yes,
And she
I'm
smiles
sure.
at Helene.
Yes. We'll take anybody who wants to go.
Mhm.
I would not leave anybody behind who didn't wish to stay. At least I think that's usually the way we do things. I look at Helene and Rowan Siege.
Lynn will shake her head. to affirm. Yeah, if you want to leave.
I don't know how to ask this without just asking it. Does Jotun... Is he chaste? One of those priests that chase?
Uh,
Because Pinesto will sleep with him if he's not.
No, but I have red hair, and
do
he
you
seems to
find
like
do you
to
find
like
Jotun
redheaded women.
attractive?
If I could get close to him, I could get the ring from him. I can
No.
guarantee it.
Yeah, Jotun is not chaste. No. As far, yeah, no, he's not. No men can afford to be, but we have so few.
He's not known as Jotun the Chaste.
Well, some priests are, some orders. They don't do that, which is fine. I'm not judging either way. I'm just trying to think of a way. Helene, you had said you would like to find a way to do this without all the bloodshed, and sometimes
Well,
you
I
can
was
get
thinking,
things
like,
done.
hacking off his finger or something.
Well, yes, but how are you should get close enough to him without being attacked by all the warriors. To do that,
Well, I
might
was
be a
thinking
way.
like dinner together. And a slip of the knife.
Okay. But a guy like Jotun, he might want something for his dinner kind of thing.
Yes. Here, hon, let me cut your food. Oops. See how easy that is?
Oh. Yeah.
That's a little tough. Let me cut that for you. You know how men like to be fawned over.
I'm not saying okay. I'm not saying one of us, or Revna, or any of us actually sleep with the guy. I mean, gross. But I'm just saying, if that's something that he likes, is all men are usually fascinated by something they consider exotic.
Right.
And we are nothing if not exotic. We're outsiders. And it's possible we could get close to him in this way, is all I'm saying. But we don't have to do that. It's just an idea. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
So are you saying we all approach him together?
Well, everyone here seems to have red hair. I'm thinking you...
I have very red hair. My hair is so red it appears dark.
I don't know if I'll approach him together. I don't know if he'd go for that. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just saying, I think that maybe this is a way to get close to him. But if you don't think, we don't have to do that for sure. I certainly wouldn't ask either of you to do it. So.
Well, it's been a while since I've had a tumble.
Yes, I think since Bale, actually. Okay, what do you think, Rowan? Do you have an idea for... I'm just throwing things out here. I don't even know if this would work. I look at Lure. Would he even go for it?
Do you believe that seducing him is not something I would have tried?
Are you saying he's not seducible?
I'm saying he's wise. He knows what he has and he protects it.
Okay.
But maybe, you are exotic. Kind of looks at Helene.
See? Exotic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. A well-placed scarf.
Well, again, it's not something I'd ask anybody to do. It was just an idea. As you say, we're trying to do this with the minimal amount of bloodshed.
Oh, you wouldn't have to ask me. I would do it. It wouldn't go anywhere.
But as Lure has said, if it's been tried, and he's probably wise to the ways of... I don't know. I don't know how to do this without casualty.
Well, every war brings casualties.
Yes.
We must look at the end product.
Do you know that Kraken is trying to cross over into this land for good? Do you know that, Lure?
Oh. Well, that seems unlikely. How could it be? What makes you say that?
We've seen it. We've seen a place where the worlds are thin. Is that what you'd say, Rowan Seach, about what we saw?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
And we've seen the creature, well, not itself, but we've seen something attempting to breach the dimensions. We were told it was Kraken, and nothing I've seen since has has given me any cause to think that wasn't true.
Well, if perhaps it is the end times, but perhaps it is not. They say that you can make your own future if you try hard enough, right? We can destroy the ring. I know how.
How? How would you destroy the ring?
This I cannot tell you, for then you would not need me anymore.
We already
I'm no
told
fool
you
either.
we would take you with us.
I'm no fool. I will destroy the ring when you get it from me. And when I do, we will both have what we want. I will have freedom. You will have peace.
Peace meaning no Kraken coming over, and we all get to leave if we want, right? That's what you mean.
Right. The peace would be right, exactly.
Okay.
Less bloodshed, right? You want less bloodshed. You want the sacrifices to end.
The
That's
piece
what you
would be
want, right?
you would all be in pieces. That's what the pieces would be.
Well, I just want to make sure you don't mean like peace because we're finally all dead or something. I mean, I've had people say things and not mean what they say. You have to understand. I'm old. I'm an old lady.
I see.
Excuse us for being cynical, but we've heard things like this before.
I see. Well, exactly. We have not known each other for very long, so it is normal for us all to be a little hesitant. But I think we have a similar goal. That is to take the ring from Jotun so he can no longer make sacrifices.
Okay. I agree.
Well,
Now we have to figure out the best way to do it. Sorry, go ahead, Helene.
well, I think that's a bad paraphrase. We want to take the ring from Jotun so that the Kraken doesn't enter the world. That's why we want the ring.
I understand that, of course. The language barrier.
Well, there's a nuance that you're missing. One of them requires the world ending, the other is sacrifices ending.
I understand. Yes, the ring in my hands will be destroyed. And that will get you what you want, and me what I want.
And you want
Is that what you're
freedom.
asking? Freedom.
You want to leave. You want to go
I
outside the
want to
valley.
leave. That's right. I do not want to live this way, where we are born to be sacrificed, to be the majority, yet the minority in power. I would like to be my own leader, my own ruler, own my own life.
Well, we could take you now. There's nothing stopping you. We could leave this world.
Forgive me if I'm a little religious. If what you're saying is true and the world is not destroyed, and it seems that it is, I don't know that it wouldn't be. We understand that Gakru will destroy it all. So unless he is stopped this through the sacrifice here, I can't be guaranteed that leaving will be a future that I can control. Kaku may follow me. The men may follow me.
You said
And
no one leaves the valley.
That is correct.
Right.
But to prove that no one can leave the valley, they would kill us all. They want to keep the status quo. I have almost 100 women who fight for me. They would be slaughtered if I left them. If I left them with those men in charge. Tibur must die. Jodin must die. The ring must be taken and destroyed. Then I can leave in peace.
Okay. Well, I wish you have a sense of responsibility. It's more than a selfishness that you have.
Of course.
Okay, so how do you want to do this?
So what is his weakness? You know him best.
Oh. Well, he is not. He is weak. But with Tibur always on guard, he has the strength. His weakness is that alone he is just a man. With Tibur, he is a man guarded by the most powerful warrior in the valley. There are several guards who, beside Tibur, who protect Jodin. That is why I had suggested getting them away. But you could fight your way through them, I suppose. You look like warriors, or you carry the arms of warriors at all. But to arrive in a place where Jodin is, armed as you are, would be quite difficult. If it were as easy as getting Jodin alone in the couches with some wine, do you think that I or one of my women wouldn't have done it already?
Right.
Tibur watches everything. Even if you could seduce Jodin, Tibur would cut your throat before you could remove the ring. Or take the ring for himself before Jodin's blood hit the floor.
I see.
Hmm.
No, I didn't really think it would be that easy. I was just, you never know.
Anything's worth a try. But as I said, being that there are 25,000 women and only about 2,000 men, they have not want, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay. Ugh. What do you think, Helene? Rowan Siege? I'm not sure.
It sounds like she's already thought this through and already has a good plan. So Might as well stick by that plan.
All right. And I will look at Lure and I will say, you really aren't going to take the ring for yourself. Right? You will destroy it. Yes?
The ring must be destroyed. Yes.
Okay. All right. I just have to ask that one more time. Good. I believe you.
Yes. I will destroy the ring.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you I mean, assuming that you're here for 2 days, so you you traveled all day, so she basically at some point is like, okay, well, we're gonna be here, for another day or so before we gotta go back, so might as well stay out of the prying eyes of Tiber and those. So she has her women show you to some chambers that you guys can get comfortable in, and again, they have clothes and stuff, so you don't have to like walk around in armor. But they do train and stuff, and there are warriors here, so you can hang out and train with the warriors or do whatever. She's around if you want to talk to her more. She does actually say that she's going out for a hunt in the morning. But if anybody wants to go, otherwise you guys can stay here. That's kind of up to you if you have a plan or if it's something you guys want to do. But effectively, you're going to be left alone in your rooms now if you want to have any conversations without her present. And if not, then we'll just cut to the next day.
I just look at both Rowan Teach and Helene and I say, this is all right? Really? I don't want to. She seems trustworthy, but my judgment's not always great.
Well,
So,
she's not a creepy old man, so.
yeah, which is actually a little scarier because creepy old men, I can deal with them. Smart women, harder to deal with. Harder to read.
Well, I'll go out on the hunt with her tomorrow and see if there's anything more I can glean.
She seems like she genuinely wants out of this situation. It doesn't appear that she's wants Kraken to come over, so
Yeah.
okay.
Rowan suits you going on the hunt?
Yeah, I'll go on the hunt.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So the night passes. In the morning, I guess if you meet her down there, she's got a horse for you, Rowan Siege. Is anybody else going? No. Okay. So she leads you out, past that river part, basically where the forest begins. And when she gets there, she looks off into the woods and she goes like, woo! She makes like a howl sound and waits a second or two. And out of the woods comes a very, very large wolf. It comes right up to her saddle and kind of puts this big paws up on her saddle. She like rubs its head, and then she just like looks at it as it stares at her for a minute, and then it puts its head down and it like runs off into the woods. And you actually hear shuffling in the woods, and like about a dozen other wolves kind of come out and follow it. And then she looks at you and says, "Come," and she rides off behind the wolf as it leads you guys into the woods. Assuming you're going to follow.
Yeah, I'm going to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically the wolves are running down something, and you guys get there with your horses pretty much just as the wolves have encircled a large stag. They're kind of circled around it. It's nervous. It can't get out. The big wolf is looking at her for like approval to attack it or kill it. But she looks at you and she says, "Do you have a bow or something?" I don't even know.
Yeah,
she would have given you a bow if you, yeah.
I have a light crossbow.
Okay, yeah, if she didn't have one, she would have given you one. She says, "Please, let the kill be yours, Rowan Siege."
All right, Rowan Siege is going to try it. Why not?
All right, yeah, take a shot at it. I mean, it's pretty much it's trapped, so.
AC 9.
I was going to say, if you hit any armor class, you hit it, so you just barely hit it. It's almost like you aimed over here, like it's here, and then it just happens to run into the arrow.
Yeah, see, you gotta compensate for where it's gonna be instead of where it's at.
Yeah, instead of like that nice clean like kill where it drops to the ground, it's like staggering around a little bit. She's a little embarrassed for you, so she doesn't say anything, and eventually it dies. And she says, "Well done, well done. We should take this one back." Um, and she looks behind, and she kind of waves, and then who you didn't see because they were following behind further. There was another couple of women, and they kind of come out, and they jump down, and they like get a. They take an axe and they chop off like one of the basically the back. What do you call that? The leg part, and the haunch, and then they throw it out, and the wolves start tearing it up, and then they take the rest of the deer, the stag rather, and they throw it up over the horse, and they say, "This will be our feast tonight," and they ride off back to the tower. So while that was going on, back at the tower, shortly after Laura leaves, the two women who were watching you the whole time in Karak show up, and they what are Helene and Vanessa doing?
Well, I would think we were strategizing, trying to figure out how to do this.
Okay, so you're like hanging out in the great room, just like drinking wine and hanging out in the couches and stuff, or are you like
Well,
walking on the grounds? Or
I say I'd walk. I think better when
Okay.
I walk. Yep.
all right, yeah. So you guys are walking around, and you see you hear some footsteps, and you see some people pointing, and some of the girls are pointing in your direction, and you see the two women who are guarding you back in Karak. And they approach you, like swiftly, like they're walking with some intent, but not aggressively. And they kind of walk up to you. And they stop, and they look around, and they say, "Was anyone watching you?" And they actually say it in Hellenic. This is it to Helene.
Okay.
Yeah, because they don't say it in Hyperborean, because you've only seen them speak Hyperborean to this point.
Was gonna say. Not that I know of.
Ask for 2 horses and ride to the north a mile. Meet us in the woods. And then they kind of quickly move past you. So this all happened like super fast. They kind of like walked up and like made it like a casual. Like they just were greeting you, and they just said that really quickly, and they just like walked past.
What'd they say?
They were wondering if anybody's been watching us, and then they said, "Get 2 horses and meet us over there."
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
get 2 horses.
Yeah, I think we should.
Should we?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we'll just be on our guard.
Yes. It's been a while since we've had a trap spun on us.
That's
I'm up
right.
for a good ambush.
That's right.
To the ambush. Let's go.
Okay, if you go back to the stables where you came, you have horses, right, that you came with. So if you just approach those horses, the women there, who none of them seem to speak the Hellenic if you try to speak to them, but they get the idea that you want those horses, and they've clearly not been told not to give them to you, so you're able to get horses, if you like.
Yes.
Okay, so assuming you do what they asked, and you get the horses and you ride out to the north, you ride out about a mile or so, and there is in fact a clearing. It kind of opens up into this meadow, and there's nobody there at first, but you kind of look around. Maybe you're kind of thinking like, "What the heck? Are we getting into ambush?" Then you guys are being cautious, and the 2 women step out of the woods. Their horses are probably somewhere tied up because you don't see any horses. They step out on foot, and they say, "I'm glad you have come. Who knows what the witch woman is telling you? Are you truly from outside?"
I think they're speaking in Hellenic, so.
Oh,
right?
yeah, they are. They're speaking in Hellenic. Yep.
Yeah.
They don't speak common.
They're wondering if we're truly from the outside.
Yes, we are. I'll nod.
Yes, we are. They're wondering if we trust the witch woman.
Well, do they have a reason for us to not trust her?
Is there a reason why we shouldn't trust her?
She looks around and then they step forward and they say, oh, we could be killed for speaking to you of this, but our lives are not important in the scheme of things. The witch woman wants the ring.
Well, we know that. They know the witch woman wants the ring. They're afraid they'll be killed because they're talking about it.
Oh, but does she want to destroy it, or does she want it? Like,
Does she want it, or does she want to destroy the ring?
Yes.
Okay, you guys are very concrete here.
If a woman performs the ceremony of sacrifice to Kakru does not leave, and the ring is destroyed.
oh,
What?
oh.
Did you hear that? Did you hear the words coming out of my mouth? If a woman performs a ceremony of Kakru, then he does not go away and the ring is destroyed.
Oh, that.
So she does want to destroy the ring. Oh, she is a witch. Okay, we gotta kill her now.
Well,
And I'm not
No.
one who's up for killing most people, but now she's made my list.
yeah, because she. Yeah.
Not many know this, because she doesn't know what you're saying to her. She's just going to continue her story.
Yes.
Not many know this, of course, and she has a strong following among the warriors.
Okay.
You must not allow her to get the ring. The ring must be destroyed, though. If the ring is destroyed, then the sacrifices will end.
I see.
Can you end the sacrifices? It seems like you had no love for the torture and sacrifice of the young woman who fled Cirque.
Right.
You tried to save her. You stood up to Tiber.
You
No
are
one
correct.
stands up to Tiber.
They're saying if we destroy the ring, we destroy the reason for all the sacrifices. So then there'll be no more sacrifices and all these women will be saved.
Yes, well, everybody has lied to us. How do we know that they are telling? Well, I guess technically she didn't lie, but she knew what I was asking, and she looked right.
So should I just call them liars? You want me
No,
to
no,
call
no.
them liars?
No, please
Liars!
Please don't do that.
No, just kidding. It's just a joke.
Just
Come closer.
I'm asking you, Helene, how do we know who to trust at this point?
Exactly.
I certainly don't trust her because I have a feeling they're right. I don't think they're lying.
You don't think they're lying?
No.
How do we know this isn't Tiber's things? This is a couple of his little Hottentots.
I should have let Rowan Cease just burn the place to the ground.
Exactly.
Okay.
I will just say, because it's been a couple of weeks since it happened, that these two warriors were following Lorch. They came with her initially.
Not
So,
Tibor.
no, you've only actually seen him controlling men.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly he must have some kind of women in his troop as well, because there's so many more women. But you've only seen him with men. Like
Okay.
his close guard is all men,
Well,
from what you've seen.
so Lure's kind of crappy. Jotun is really crappy.
Yes.
Kraken is
Crappy.
crappy. But I mean in a godlike way, so it's not really his fault. That's just how they are
Yeah.
sometimes. Not all gods. Not disparaging your god, Helene.
No, that's fine. Just call him Helios, and she'll get over it.
It's not Heli, but,
No, that's fine. It's okay.
but
She gets used to it. Everybody just kind of. It's just chaotic anyway.
I have a feeling
She's fine.
that these people are telling the truth, and that Jotun kind of wants to continue being in charge and doing the sacrifices and having Kraken pop out every now and then just so he can, be
Right.
the man in charge. And I have a feeling Lure isn't
Wants
happy
to.
with that arrangement and wants to bring Kraken here.
Right.
And then the ring will be destroyed. So like I said, technically she didn't lie to me.
Right.
Technically.
So
But oh, am I pissed.
Cutting back to Laura and Roden Siege. So after they take the stag away, the wolves are kind of still gathered around or whatever. She says to you, it's clear that you are the leader of the group. I wanted to be sure that I want what's best for the valley. Cirque really should be destroyed. And taking Tibor to do it is the right move. For it takes him out of our way. Because he really is what's in our way, right, Tibor?
Yes, I can agree with that.
Yes, I can tell you're very wise.
So these wolves, are these your pets?
I have a way with animals. They speak to me.
So you do not plan to bring them with you?
Oh, no. Only if they choose to leave the valley. I do not force anything upon them. They do things for me when they want to. I have a plan. There are 3 more prisoners from Cirque at Karak. If we could help them escape, one of my friends here, she kind of leans towards the wolves, could follow them back to Cirque. I heard it said you were a witch. Do you have powers to do such things? Perhaps a mantle of invisibility or a ability to fly? What can you do? I've heard of many powers of witches.
Oh, I am afraid that witch is almost merely a title. As you said, where I come from, I'm considered to be somewhat wise amongst the other people.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's unfortunate. It would be a good break for us to know where Cirque was. And torturing the women never gives the location. Tibor tries over and over again. I think he likes it.
Are there any other ways into the city? A secret
Well,
way that we could try to sneak the women out?
well, there are when they bring in the farm goods. It is less protected, that area, or less guarded, I should say. They bring in wagons. Perhaps that would be a way.
Hmm. Well, that sounds like a plan.
Yes, it's much more risky, though. I just getting the women free from Tibur will be difficult without some kind of aid. Huh. Well, I guess we'll have to see what happens. Perhaps he can be distracted somehow.
I'm sure you'll think of something. You seem to be an intelligent woman.
Well, I will try. I've not been able to thwart Tibur to this point. So, we shall see. We shall see. And then she kind of kicks her horse, to turn around, and she starts walking it back towards the direction you came. The wolves all scatter into the woods as you head back towards the tower.
Yeah, I'll follow her.
Okay. All right. So I think that's actually probably a pretty good place to leave it.
Oh yes, that's yeah, good place.
We'll kind of leave you at that point where we've got some stuff going on, and we'll pick up again next week. Yeah. Can't let you conclude anything. Edgy as seat. Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave you there. All right. Perfect. So okay. I keep forgetting. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell if you've been watching this far, and we'll see what happens next week.